Hi, and welcome to this masterclass on Titian's the Bacchanal of the Andrians. This is, I guess it's Bacchus sleeping in the background there up to the right. And Titian is one of the painters that I remember Odd Nerdrum saying that when he was really studying composition, it was Caravaggio and it was Titian especially. Now, this is a earlier work by Titian, and I was thinking of doing a later masterclass on the development of Titian's technique. Here you see he uses clearer colors, clearer forms, clearer lines, and he obviously gets much more dissolved later. But there is a fantastic thing that we can learn from this painting, and that has to do with the number 8 and movement. So let's get to it. The diagonals, as you know, I'm a fan of diagonals given the format, literally. And we can see here that diagonal sort of separates two groups. And we'll get to how those are still united, because that's the thing, right? To be able to unite things in different parts of the painting, even though they are further back or way to the left, way to the right, that they still belong to each other. We can see that the diagonal here hits quite a lot of important things going from right to left or left to right. These are sort of on the line specifically, but then you also have things further back. Here you have the cloth of the one of the men in the background meeting the back of the man crouching there, and you have the actual ship in the background there, and this part of the tree as well. So that's the important thing. When you look at how things align according to a diagonal in this case, or just a rhythmic line, when you're looking for that, you're sort of thinking as if it was two-dimensional. I mean, of course, we are talking about creating pictorial space here, but it's we're talking about the general structure, and then when you think about that, when you look for that, you sort of think two-dimensionally. So even though these figures on the right and the left of that diagonal are separated, Titian does an ingenious thing here. This old happy man dancing there breaks that diagonal, right? And that man pouring the wine into I guess it's like a Greek cup there. And he's breaking the line from left to right. So these two halves are still well in contact with each other. You have this man looking towards the right when we look at the painting. But of course, he's bending away from that right half into the left half. And that's one of the things that Titian does in order to unite things that are basically quite separated. This figure breaks into that half to the right, and the other one breaks into the left, and of course also the old man, as we just looked at. Those oppositions, going to the left and going to the right, is also reflected in the two figures to the very left. I guess that's Silenus. He is the somewhat voluptuous man there to the left, and he is pointing to the right with his whole body, and also with his right hand and the vessel that he's drinking from. And then you have the anonymous man there sort of going to the left out of the painting, but this is pulling back. So you have the same idea here, and you can continue that movement from his hand there up in the trees there, and that branch, for example, and even going down in the movement of the dancing man there, and then the reclining woman there. Okay, so that's one thing. Or those are examples of uniting things across barriers. And when we look at this figure once more, you see his foot there, and it's divided by that tree. So it's very important, and the tree is not very clear, right? It doesn't cut the format in two here. So he gets a contact between all the figures to the right there, and then the 2 figures to the left. But he also puts in the foot there so he gets that connection. And you see it also here with the crouching figure there. So that there is a contact between the large group of people and those 2 figures to the left that could easily become like a separate picture. Another example is that when he has that movement going very clearly upwards, he breaks it off, right? So it doesn't disappear out of the painting. Thank you for checking out this video from the School of Apelles. To watch the full video and access our premium library, go to caveofapelles.com/subscribe and become a $10 patron. That's caveofapelles.com/subscribe.